Oh, I just saw your chat there, Madison. Um, I didn't record that. Um, Shoot. I hate to go back and do it again. What do you think? Do you want me to?
Uh, in my personal case scenario, I don't feel like it's necessary, but we
Okay.
can
Zoe, do
chat.
you need me to do it again?
I know, I just wanted to mention that, but I think you're pretty clear on how you did that.
Yeah, if you really, I'm really available if you need to, if you want to contact me to go over it again. Um, but maybe I don't think I'll take our class time to do it again. But maybe I'll make a video on this. Someone tells me I have before. Um, I've done this in a few classes, other semesters. I have it, but it's easy for me to do. I'm getting pretty good at it. All right, so there you go. Surgical editing. Like I said, that's as challenging as you're likely to see. Okay? So, Luke, that's how to do the base fix. Uh,
Okay.
so, do you want to continue talking about all right now and mixing some things?
Actually, I have a small question about One More Kiss. Is that still an assignment, or is that still extra credit, as you said? Because I kind of got it like way later than I was supposed to.
I don't say that again. What do you ask? Is it extra credit?
Yeah.
Um, hmm. I we can leave it at that for now. But I just felt like students were. Wait, sorry. Let me get myself back here. Um, just a number of students were really ready for more, so I gave them more. Um, are you done with all right now, Luke?
I'm almost done. I just have to fix the rest of this base.
Yeah. So, um, well, that's good if you're that far. I mean, all right now is it. If students are really struggling just to get through, what was the one we did before this one? Funky music. Um, so funky music and all right now are required. Um, I guess at this point, I'm going to say one more kiss is extra credit for just the 271 students. 273, it's required. And that's just one of you. Um, okay, sorry if that's. It just is a little weird doing the class this way with we're so split up. Okay, but I don't want to overwhelm you, and I'd rather see you do a good job on less songs than feel pressured and rushed. Okay, but how are you doing? Has anyone gotten the drums done in all right now? Because I can continue with that if you'd like.
Um, I've played with them a little bit, but any input that you're willing to give is appreciated.
Yeah, okay. So let me go. The drums are really important and they really need some work. Um, Drums and live sound, well, studio too, need it. Let me shut off my editor.
So it's the first note on like the fourth go around of that solo. It's the first note on the high end piece.
Hang on, we have a question here. Say it again, Ethan.
So on the fourth run through of the solo, the
Right.
on the high piece of it, the high notes he hits, it's the fourth run through the first note is it's a half step wrong. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. That's it. It's just
Yeah, he played the same note twice. And the second one needs to be a half step lower.
okay.
Okay. So organize your drums. If we have time, I want to show you a video by Chris Lord Alge where he talks about how he organizes big sessions, and he does really big sessions like with 80, 100 tracks. Pretty crazy, but. So anyway, I like to do hi-hat. Oops, I moved my kick drum so I could put it next to the bass. Does everyone remember that I said that, okay? It's a really good trick to put, if you're doing edits that involve timing, find a track that's a good reference, okay?
Mr. Katz?
Yeah. Say that again, Madison?
Can you share your screen?
Oh, I should share my screen? Okay.
Sorry, I thought you had.
Anyway, thank you. Yeah, I was saying when I was working on the bass edits, I used the kick drum as a timing reference because and kick drums are very good for this, but oops. But I put my kick drum track next to the bass, so it was really easy to eyeball them. I did this, I'm mixing an album with someone and they did this stuff all the time, accents weren't quite right. So you pick one that's going to be that you like and you can reference the other ones to that. Just slice them right on the beat and then move them. It's pretty fast that way. So anyway, my drums, I just have always done it this way. I do hat, kick, snare, overheads, and then if usually I'll have rack toms, or floor tom too. In this case, we don't. In other software, you can color code it too, which is helpful too. So I'm soloing my drums now. So let me review here's what I've got going on I think I did the kick drum first. And what I did was, let me pull this up. On my EQ on the kick drum, what I look for in a kick drum is I want a thump and I want a beater that's kind of snapping a little bit. And this is for, a rock type song like this. It's pretty clear to see where the fundamental of the kick drum is. So I used one of my bell curves and just gave it a slight boost, but not too wide. You want to leave room for your bass and stuff, so a couple of you are turning in projects with just massive, broad bass boosts on like a bass or kick drum, and you just don't leave room for anything when you have that kind of overwhelming stuff. For the beater, I forget how Let me solo the kick drum. Take off the snare overhead. Bass isn't in yet, hi-hat. Yeah, when I bring it up at 2K, it starts to get a little too poppy sounding. So I'm right around 2K for the beater. Yeah, a little broader is good, but just experiment with this. But look for your fundamental of the kick drum. You may find, like, if depending how it's mic'd and how the drum is set up, you may find that it's really, you have more low end than you need, in which case you actually might want to, where am I at, +6, you might do something where you, see, I lose the thump when I do that. I don't know if you can hear it. There, I'm getting it. Do you hear it out there? Yeah, if you have earphones, hopefully you'll hear it okay. But that's what I listen for, and find where these frequencies are. Sometimes if it's working, I might do a little bit of a broad cut in between these two peaks, because this is where a lot of other stuff is sitting. Guitars and vocals are all in this range. And once the whole mix is there, this area is going to get filled out by lots of stuff. So, mixing, it's about giving things, a place in the whole sonic spectrum from high to low frequencies. Usually I go for a snare drum after that. And you might want to listen to your overheads too, to see how useful they're going to be. So I like, the snare sounds pretty good in the overheads. So that's a good thing. I don't have much, you're not much thump of the kick drum in the overheads, but if I bring in the kick, which we've just EQ'd, it's sounding pretty good. By the way, for my kick, I did use my multiband, I believe. Oh, no, I haven't done it yet. Again, I just put a little bit of compression on this. I did make a comment to, I think, at least one of you that, on your multibands, at this point, you can start using more bands if you want, or, use your crossover. Like the kick drum has a low frequency, right, and a high now. The low is at about 60, 65. So I'm going to give a separate band to treat the low frequency on it. So again, I'm getting like 2 dB and the high part of the beater. Okay, little less ratio. Okay, so that's my compression on the kick drum. I generally wouldn't use reverb on a kick drum unless it's a real ambient kind of mix or a ballad. You can experiment with it. I wouldn't use delay, but let me listen to it. It's hard for me to hear it here. You could give it just the tiniest bit, but don't overdo it. Snare, where am I? Let's listen. Solo the snare. This is my snare drum before my EQ. It sounds like a piece of cardboard, right? I'll bring it in. So actually, this is an example of what I was talking about. The snare drum really had a lot of, its fundamental is right here at about 220. And I brought it down 5 dB. Let me shut that off and you'll hear why. I thought it was just a little overwhelming, you know, in the low end. So at that fundamental frequency. So I just, it's so much louder than other things. And I use these two bands to, you know, of course we don't have a bottom mic on the snare, which is why it sounds like cardboard. So when you have that situation, you really need to boost the snare generally quite a bit, somewhere between 2 and 5K. I think this sounds pretty good. I used my multi-band. Looks like I did this. You know, again, I'm getting just a couple dB of compression. You know, just really, I still have good dynamics, but it really tightens it up. If we show the Chris Lord Algae video today on mixing, I sometimes can't believe how much compression he uses on stuff, and to me it doesn't sound good. I don't know, but he works with some great people. Maybe that's half the secret. It's easy to make really good people sound good. That's something I've learned. You just got to stay out of the way. So to fatten up the snare when it's sounding too dry and too close mic'd, you know, I will add this kind of really short reverb to the drums, the snare specifically. And I use this platinum verb. I'll see if we can hear the difference. This is without it. Here's with it. Without it. Can you hear a difference out there? No? Okay.
Hard.
Do you have headphones on, Madison?
No, I could though.
Yeah. If you're just hearing computer audio, you might not hear this. But check out my settings here. Okay, this is being recorded, and you know, note the time maybe. But I have a pretty short time on the reverb. And it's 0.8 seconds, like 0.8 of a second. I have it pretty wet. You know, when you're on the insert, you're going to need to adjust the level, you know, unlike a bus, which is at 100%. But anyway, experiment with this, the platinum verb, and you'll hear it really adds a little depth and dimension without saturating the whole thing. But in addition to that, I might use reverb on a snare here. I have another lesson queued up today that I might show you. It's do we have any metal fans out there? Yeah, so it's Rick Beato, who I'm a fan of, on his YouTube channel, got a hold of some tracks from Pantera, and he you know is soloing certain parts of the mix. It's really interesting, I think. They're really incredibly talented musicians. I don't know if you like their vibe or what they're about, but the drum, everyone in the band is just incredible. But I'm really, I was amazed at how much reverb they use on drums in a metal recording. Usually they're pretty dry, and the guitars just dominate. Anyway, how are we doing? Should we keep going?
Mm-hmm.
You got to get your drums sounding good, or your track will never be good if you don't get drums good. And it's, let me see with my hi-hat. Let me get to another section where we do this. I'm just dragging my counter with my mouse to go to an earlier place. So let me bring up the hi-hat so we can hear it. He's so this drummer, he's doing a half open hi-hat where you release your foot a little bit so the cymbals are kind of barely, they're not touching, but when you hit it with your sticks, they hit, and it makes them very live and ringing. It can sound kind of trashy here. And he's playing it pretty loud, but in hi-hats, I often use the high-pass filter because you're going to get leakage from the snare drum and the kick drum in it because they're physically just so close. You can really see the high, when he hits it, you get little bursts of energy here between 2 and 8K. You see that in there? So that's an indication of what's going on. And you're seeing the snare hitting here at 200. So a lot of times with hi-hats, I'm really not afraid to really use a lot of high pass and put it up there. It sounds really weird on its own. But we have, I'm sure we have let me listen to the overheads. Yeah, I mean, I can hear the hi-hat and the overheads. So this is something I do a lot, is I really just leave the sizzle of the hi-hat, and I'll just bring it in a little bit with the overheads. So it really, it's just adding a nice presence, and you don't need it too loud. But okay, kick, snare. I haven't, I'm not, let me look at, okay, let me close that. For the multi-band on the hi-hat, compress this a bit if you want. You rewind. Okay. I just have a few dB of compression on it. I think I'm good. Let's look at my overheads. Oops. Yeah, I did this already. I guess I just wanted a little more high end in the overheads. A lot of times I'll use a high pass on it. Let me solo it. Yeah, experiment with your high shelf on this, but you can see what you got up there. A lot of hi-hats. Add some kick drum. Snare. For the overhead, a lot of people really compress the overheads. I haven't done anything yet. Yeah, I won't do too high a ratio, but experiment with this. But just find a point where you really notice that it's starting to sound a little smushed, and then start backing off till you hear some life. That's a way to approach it. I'm mixing a project now, and to make the drums bigger, like a lot of engineers, these are they're sending all the drums to a second bus. You can't really do that in GarageBand, unfortunately, and it's called parallel compression. So you leave a regular track that's not too smushed, but you blend in a slightly highly compressed track, and it can really add a lot of depth to it. And you still have dynamics from the uncompressed one. But anyway, we can't really do that here. Anyway, let's just look at a little bit of reverb on these. Let's check our reverb setting. I'm going to use the snare. Now let me go back to regular song. Oh, I'm on the wrong track. I wasn't, I brought up the reverb and I didn't hear anything. Easy to do in GarageBand. Let's look at the snare and bring it up.
Can you share your screen again, please?
Say that again?
Can you share your screen, please?
Wait, say that again?
Share your screen, please.
Oh, no. Thank you.
Voice.
Thank you for reminding me. Where am I? Yeah, I had my overhead still selected, and I brought up the reverb on it, and I didn't hear any change because I needed to be here. But anyway, here's my snare reverb now. I think this reverb is too long for this song and what I'm doing. I mean, it's got a tail that's like 4 seconds. So let's go look at that. I'm going to hit master, and I'm going to hit effects. I'm going to do master reverb. And I'm gonna exaggerate it to listen to it. I have brought down the volume of the output of the reverb, so I have some room to work with it in here. But I'm gonna back off on the time. So to me, this sounds a little more like the space we were in where it's not cavernous like that other setting. And we can back it off now. Dry. I'm going to give the overhead some Remember, I had given the kick some a little bit before, so you can see it's I've got a little bit there. So I think my drums are pretty good. Good? I hope. Should we keep mixing? Or do you want to? Okay. Let's get the bass here. This is kind of a weird song, because the bass only comes in on the choruses. Kind of unusual. Oops. Back to the tracks. Let me shut this off. I'm going to set up a little loop on the bass because it just plays for a little bit and then goes away. This might be a little annoying, but just set up a little loop range. So this is a bass through, a direct box. It sounds really harsh, and at least in this part, the part is pretty high on the instrument. Let's look at our EQ. It's really pretty flat, frequency range here, but I don't know. It's just it's kind of harsh sounding. What to do with this? I feel like I want to cut some of this high stuff. But another solution, I thought I'd try using one of the bass amp models in this. Let's keep the EQ off for now. Let's approach this differently just to see where it goes. I'm going to put the multiband in and just control this a little bit. Bring my band down. I like it better already. Experiment with that. Yeah, to me this smooths out the part a little bit, and it still has plenty of dynamics. I went to the bass amp. I did a little work on this before class. So, in the plugins, actually I'll do another one. This is where it is. It amps and pedals. I went to the bass amp designer. And this is what I came up with. That's with it, without it. So this really, I don't know if you hear it, but it really gives it some body. So I used the graphic equalizer, and these settings were deliberate. I gave it a slight boost at 100 and a little bit cut at these two higher bands. You know, you can move these around, right? You know, I used the EQ on the bass too. Actually, I really hear the difference between like 6 and 5 on the treble control. I like the brightness now, but it doesn't sound so harsh and irritating. And you know, pay attention to these settings. And I'm not using the compressor here. By the way, you can turn the graphic equalizer on and off on this bass amp designer using the graphic EQ icon. This is really like a lot of bass amps used to have these, and some just still do, you know, a graphic equalizer. Really nice for shaping the sound. This is pretty cool too. You know, you can control the mic placement on the cabinet. This looks like an RE20, good dynamic mic for bass amps, and you know, you can actually use this thing and move it around. Pretty cool, huh? Experiment with the sound. You get when to move the mic. So it gets more muffled. It gets brighter when it's on the cone. Very good model. I mean, this is really how it sounds. So you can adjust, you know, really shape the sound just by moving the mic on the cabinet. I really like that. I like that. I hear a little of that scratchiness on the strings that I like. And you can blend the amp and the direct box here, you know. Oops. You know, with this slider. Good. You can choose your cabinet too. I was on the Modern 15. You know, experiment with this. These amp models are getting pretty cool. The 8x10 is a cabinet made by the Ampeg SVT, and this is what it looks like. I like the one I had. Anyway, I don't know if you hear the difference, but you know, a lot of fun stuff to play with here. So I'm okay with the bass now. Okay? How are we doing? Is this getting too much or too tedious? No? Okay. Yeah, a lot of tracks. Turn off my loop. My guitar, you know, is an important part of the song. It really features it a lot. So this was a mic'd amp. So yeah, I mean, I had my own effects. You know, I used a little multi-effects pedal. Oops, darn it. Sorry, I moved that. Let me rewind here. I'm behind the speakers, but anyway, this was sounding pretty good the way it was. I don't think it needs much. You can really see, where a guitar amp rolls off at like 5K. I mean, there's really there's really nothing going on above 5K. But you can experiment with this. It was pretty loud, and so there's really not much leakage in, the amp either. I would just leave it for now. I think it sounds good. That's it. I mean, with all these tracks, there's really not a lot of instruments in it. The piano comes in, Joette, she's the lady singer. Actually, she just sang backup on this. Let me look at the editor and see when she played. Yeah. Where was I? I think she plays towards the end. No, that's it. I don't know. Yeah, let's just look at it one more time. I think it has a little too much lows in it. That's my only comment on it, really. Yeah, it just sounds a little bit muddy. The high shelf could help here. Oop, over. Get back there. So set up a little loop here so you don't have to keep rewinding. Give it a little boost. Broader band. That'll do. This will work with the mix once I bring in the bass and drums. Shut that off. Let's listen to this. On the guitar, I might give it a little reverb and delay, actually. Let me just listen to that. So the lot. Let me listen to my echo. Shut that. I like this echo, but let me just get it under control. It has too many repeats. Effects. Set it to echo. Yeah, I'm gonna back off the, does everyone get what the repeats are? It like feeds back the delay into itself and it keeps going. But I'll show you actually. That's with a lot, and this would be with. I like that setting, I just want to put it back proportionately. I like that. This is kind of a solo section in the song. Here's where the bass goes. Okay, so I'm leaving some room in my mix too, because I have a lot of vocals to bring in. How are we doing? Should we take a break from this, or?
Maybe, yeah, just like a work break to
Yeah.
process this.
So I'm going to do a save as. December 4th. I saved it earlier. I'm just going to do number 2. You want to take 10 minutes and work on your own stuff? That's a good idea. It's 10:34. Let's take 10 minutes. I'm going to pause the recording now. I'm going to stop the share and pause recording. Sorry about that. That's loud enough. So I'm going to share the screen, and this is a great series. I encourage you to watch these with Rick Beato. And a lot of times he gets people to give him now it's a Pro Tools session, although I'm sure this was originally recorded on analog tape, because I think it's from the 80s. But it really will give you, I think this series really helps you see how to mix and what goes into the production and arrangement of some really great songs. So let me share. And then I'm going to go full screen. This isn't too long. Here we go.
Hi everyone. I'm Rick Beato, and today's Everything Music is What Makes This Song Great, Episode 9. The band we're talking about today is Toto, and the song is Rosanna. Let's get started.
want epic
Hang on, I gotta try and get more sound out of this.
I introduce
There we go.
Okay, the first thing that we're going to talk about that makes this song great is what the song enters with, and that's the drums.
How's the sound out there, okay, now? Okay.
Starts with this. That is Jeff Porcaro playing. This drum part is one of the most famous drum parts
Notice the reverb on it, how much, you know? Interesting.
ever in a rock tune. This is a variation on the halftime Purdy shuffle. According to Jeff Porcaro, it's based on 3 different grooves. Home at Last is from Steely Dan Asia, that's Bernard Purdy part. And then Babylon Sisters, that's from Steely Dan Gaucho. And Fool in the Rain, John Bonham's shuffle beat from that, combined with a Bo Diddley kick and snare part. Check that out. So the Bo Diddley part is there. Dun, 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 snare, kick, 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 snare. So the drums start the song, and then the bass enters on the note G. Check it out. Here's the bass by itself. Now let's hear it with the guitar. So the guitar adds that extra little thing at the end. Da da da. Listen to the guitar by itself. Now, if we bring in the keyboards, the piano, along with it, it sounds like this. It's a piano by itself. So the fast da-da, when he goes to G sus4, da-da, G, da-da, to G sus2, creates that tension release that really gives it the intro and the verse a mood. I also want to talk about the percussion starting at the beginning. We have Lenny Castro on the congas and percussion. Check it out. There's a lot of percussion in the tune. Here's the percussion. That's the conga part. We next have the vocal center in the verse with Steve Lukather singing. Check it out.
All I wanna do when I wake up in the morning is see you rise. Rosanna, Rosanna, never thought that a girl like you could ever care for me. Rosanna.
Okay, so that's obviously
A lot of reverb, huh? Wow. Never noticed that. I don't know if you're all too young to know this song, maybe, but it's
double tracked all the way through. And Lukather has a really interesting voice. I love the sound of his voice. And it contrasts with Bobby Kimball, who sings all the high parts in the tune, because he enters next on the B part of the verse, right here.
All I wanna do in the middle of the evening is hold it tight. Rosanna, Rosanna, I didn't know you were looking for more than I could ever be.
You'll notice that that voice has a chorus on it, or what I call a D-tune. It's to thicken the voice. And it's really de-essed a lot. You can tell when he says Rosanna. Listen to the S.
Rosanna, Rosanna.
So we move from G major to F major, and the organ enters with the piano. Listen. This does a similar figure, and the organ adds that kind of tension with that glue holding that drone through there. Listen.
Let me go back to this. Lately, I've really been using de-essers all the time now on my vocal tracks, and it really helps with the S's. Maybe I've just been working with singers lately. With singers lately that have S's. Actually, there's 2 people I'm working with quite a bit lately. but it's great on guitars too, and on ukuleles, and they have a specific plugin like in GarageBand, and any software you get is going to have a de-esser. But what it is, think of it as a multi-band compressor, and like you can make a de-esser with the multi-band and just put the high frequency, at about like 4K, and then just compress. You want to set it so it only compresses when the person is singing an S, and you will definitely hear it. It'll allow it, and then you can follow that by like a boost in the EQ, and it allows you to do two things. Like let's say you really want to brighten up a vocal, but the S's are just too harsh. If you put the de-esser in there before, you can follow it with a boost, and the S's will be really more in place, and it'll give it the high frequency, throughout the track. But when a point comes where they're singing an S, the multi-band will take care of that for you. Make sense? Yeah, it's a good trick. And really on guitars, like if there's a string squeak or a harsh note on ukulele when you're picking, the de-esser works great. It's like a secret weapon. Let me go back to sharing.
Guitar hits a power chord and then comes back in, but with heavier. Now the drums and bass stay the same through that section. The bass changes down to F, but it still plays the same rhythm. Then we have this really layered pre-chorus vocal.
Not 1 year since she went away. Rosanna, yeah. Now she's gone, and I have to say.
This is very heavily layered. There's no Pro Tools going on. This is all done on tape, way before Pro Tools. Super in tune, professional studio musician singing right there. Straight quarter note kick drum. You have the finger snaps. So that's kind of a groove change there. Here's the bass. It goes right along with the kick drum. Now the guitars have a whammy bar. So Lukather is playing a clean guitar thing, really beautiful, but check out the vibrato he does. The vibrato is right in time. He's using the whammy bar. Hear this with the keyboard. So the next thing we have is the lead in into the chorus. It's that horn riff that goes along with the guitar. So that is a 5-part horn section. That's 2 saxophones, 2 trumpets, and 1 trombone. The trombonist is James Pankow, who's the trombonist from Chicago. Then you have one of the trumpet players is Jerry Hay, who's on 1 million records, and you have Tom Scott, who's a really famous saxophone player that's on 1 million records. Is one of the saxophonists. So this is a great, really fat horn arrangement. Not a 3-horn part, a 5-horn part. So that doubling of the saxes, doubling the trumpets, the trombone to fill in on the low end. And it makes it really blend well with the heaviness of the guitars there. I don't think you could really do it like you could with the Stones on XL on Main Street that has a 3-part horn section. Those 5 horns really fill it out and make it sound fat. So then we have the chorus vocal, which is another standout. It's really heavily layered, and there's some great harmonies. Check it out.
Meet you all the way, Rosanna, yeah. Meet you all the way.
That's totally pro singing. Let's listen to the guitars and the keyboards played in the chorus. They play right in unison. Here's the guitar. Before I forget, I want to talk about the drum fill that leads into the chorus, because it's amazing. Check it out. It goes right with that guitar and horn part. Listen. And then you have the guitar part, which does this fall off during that. Listen. When the chorus enters, the bass changes into a slap bass part. One thing I want you to notice is how the drums, the kick drum pattern, matches the vocals. Check it out in the chorus. So let's check out the ending of the chorus leading back into the second verse. Really cool, you have the horns doing this really nice swell. Remember we've talked about swells before? They kind of suck you back into a section. Listen. So the second verse is pretty similar. The only change here is that we have, in the Steve Lukather part, we have some harmonies. Listen.
I can see your face still shining through the window on the other side. Rosanna, Rosanna, I didn't know that a girl like you could make me feel so sad.
Then Bobby Kimball comes in the second half. Great. Then we're back to that same down pre-chorus part. And then we do the great drum fill into the second chorus, so check it out. Listen to that fill, it's amazing. Love the panning of the toms. So the second chorus is almost identical to the first chorus. So let's move on to the solo section. We have that same kind of swell in the horns. Listen to the drum fill. Incredible feel on those tom fills. Just amazing. Another thing that makes this sound great are the solos. There are a number of, there's some synth solos, there's a piano solo, and then there's the guitar solos. There are 2 guitar solos. These guitar solos are some of the most famous solos of the 80s, and really ever in a tune that was a huge pop tune like this. Steve Lukather is just a quintessential player, soloist, in addition to being an amazing singer and rhythm guitar player. He is just an all-around great studio musician. Let's check out the synth solo that starts out here. I'm going to play the synths along with the piano. Okay, let's check out the guitar solo. It goes like this. Okay, so you get a chorus on it with a little bit of a short room reverb. Check it out, solo here. He leads into it with a power chord. So there's a couple interesting things about the solo. So he starts out. Right there, that bend, and then the pinky hammer on. And then the cool run. Then he goes. He does another pinky hammer on at the top. But this run in the middle of it is great. You can actually slide into it. So I like to play that lick here. So it's one more time. Another thing that makes the guitar solo sound so good is actually what's going on behind it. So when you're hearing the organ and the piano playing between that sus4 to major to sus2, when he bends up, ba-ba, you're hearing that sus4 and third grinding together, which gives it that dissonance that you want to hear. It just makes the guitar solo sound even more intense. Okay, let's go over some of the licks in the end solo. I can't play the whole solo because I don't have a whammy bar, but I can show you some of the key licks in it.
I don't want to, he's just a show off here. I'm not, if you want to go back and watch his guitar solos, you can. I think we're almost done.
There's also a really cool honky-tonk kind of piano solo. This is really the good old days when you have multiple guitar solos, multiple keyboard solos in a song. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music channel.
So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. You know, I'm showing it to you. I have a few more of these to show you if you like them, and we can talk about them. Just the thought and the planning that goes into producing these songs. I mean, I don't know if these people were told what to do, but I think generally it's best to find people that have already done what you want and can do it, and you know, it comes kind of pretty naturally. But anyway, did you like that? Was too long? Worthwhile?
It's good. What do you mean, you just said?
Say that again?
You don't know if they were told what to do with the musicians?
Oh yeah. Like if you're producing a song, like, I'm trying to think. I remember, let me tell you a quick story, which is really right on the subject. We needed a keyboard player to fill in on a job, and just our regular, I forget what it was. Anyway, we needed a keyboard player with the Jimmy Mac band, and there's this, I forget his name now, but he's a good player, but he drove a truck for UPS, but he was he's kind of did blues and stuff, and he comes to a rehearsal and Jimmy Mac starts telling him what to play. He goes, now on this song, you know, we really need to hear blah, 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 and the guy he got really upset. And he said, you know, don't tell me what to play. You know, I do what I do. And I always remember that. And I think you want to look for people who fit the style of what you're doing and who you know can do what you want them to do. It's really difficult to get people to come in studio and play parts that they're not accustomed to doing and can't do well. And it often has not a good ending. Not that somebody gets upset, but you just won't get the recording you want. So I don't know if any of you will be in the position of putting together musicians for a session. But anyway, that's what I meant by that.
So you're saying Toto had complete freedom? Not complete, but got a lot of freedom.
Yeah. Well, the band Toto was made up of, actually, I think they really produced an album couple years ago.
Oh, well.
And what it is, it's studio musicians in LA who just sort of put together a band for fun. And, you know, it goes way back. So that's what they are. So, you know, they're all people. Like he was showing that Steve Lukather, like, played guitar on Thriller. You know, I mean, they're like first call musicians. So that's what the band is. Oops, come on, screen. I have enough. I'm not sure I want to show it, but we'll see how we do if we have people to present. But I have one. It's really interesting. It's with Brian May on the making of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, wow.
And Brian May, he just died actually a month or two ago. Brian May was the guitar player in Queen.
Really?
Really interesting guy. He has like a PhD in astrophysics, and he gave up his career to play guitar with Queen. And I think he went back to when the band ended, when Freddie Mercury died, I think. But anyways, you'll see what went into making that song. I mean, I think they probably worked on it for a year. Maybe they may talk about it, but just the details when you have like a studio and an unlimited budget and a bunch of eccentric people, and it's really a masterpiece of production in rock music, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an incredible song. The vocals they did, and it's all them. It's the band. They didn't bring it. They multi-tracked them and they stacked parts, and you know the singers are just really good. It's very interesting if you want to watch more of that. What time is it? It's a little after 11. Do we need is this getting, sometimes I'm afraid this class just gets too intense being so long and everything.
Brian May is still alive.
Hmm?
You said Brian May passed away?
I think so.
No, he's still alive still.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I was shocked when you said that. I've heard about it, that's why.
What are you looking at?
Oh, Wikipedia. Are you talking about Van Halen? Confusing, maybe?
I don't think so.
Because Van Halen passed away last month, right?
Yeah, he did.
Hey, I just want to clarify also on something that Luke mentioned earlier. The one Last Kiss song, or is that extra credit, or do we have to turn that in?
Which one?
The Kiss song?
One More Kiss?
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I probably should be more clear on this, but I'm not sure how to deal with it. You know, the thing is, we went into the lab portion of the class earlier than I normally would, and other semesters, you know, we've done recording. So we moved through the material faster,
Mm-hmm.
than I had planned. And there were students that really wanted more, mixing to do. And I don't know. Let me ask you, do you want to do that, or would you prefer not to? Would you rather?
Probably not to, with the semester coming to a close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
Uh,
like I still have a lot of work to do on all right now.
yeah. Well, let me think about how to handle it, but let me say this. I'm not gonna penalize students that didn't do it,
Okay.
all right? Like, you can still get an A, you know, if you do good work on the projects.
Okay.
Let me leave it at that for now. Okay? One second. Would anyone like to present a project?
I just finished all right now,
You finished it?
or not that funky music. Something's wrong with my all right now version.
Sorry, I'm talking to Koa in the back of the room here. Something's wrong with it?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like, because it was from last semester. All right now.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with the kick drum. But yeah.
Do you want to look at it?
Yeah, well, I think I deleted it, but I'm just putting this in.
Okay, we're going to load in a project here for Koa. I'm going to say, I think I saved my all right now, but I'm going to come back to this. I'll share my screen just so you see how I do this. So generally, you're not going to be able to play a file from a flash drive. Let me try to open this thing, find it. So this is the, which one is it, Koa? Here?
No name.
Yeah, but which? Oh, this is it, the funky music?
Yeah.
Is that the one you wanted to do? Okay,
I went over it.
I'm gonna drag it to my desktop.
Oh, I do have all right now on there.
I don't know where it went. Let me find it, desktop. See if we can open it. Command O. Should we play it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once I was a funky singer, playing in a rock and roll band, but I never had no problem burning down a one-night stand. Everything around me.
Sometimes it takes a little bit for the disc to figure it out. So what do you think?
On my headphones, I couldn't hear the bass, but now I hear the bass a lot.
Yeah,
So,
I don't hear the drums. That's what
Yeah,
I
I was
noticed
gonna
at
ask you.
first.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know why it's so
You can hear
quiet.
some hat, but
hmm?
you can hear some hat, but it's all kind of quiet. Drum set.
I don't know why the kick is so quiet. I tried turning it up, but
I put a gain thing on mine. I don't know if you did
no.
that. Yeah, I always find it quiet.
All I did was turn the kick.
Okay. Your low end on the kick is really,
Well,
it's a pretty good mix. I don't want to be all like negative, but just, you've really got a lot of low end on the kick drum. Let's see why.
because I have it boosted. I think it's my headphones.
Yeah. I think that, you know, like I was saying earlier in the class, is the kick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're blowing you can see you're blowing the low end of the kick drum like off the chart.
That's for my headphones though.
Yeah, yeah, if your headphones are lacking in low end, you're gonna exaggerate them in your mixes.
So then what headphones do you use? Or,
For mixing,
yeah,
oh, I don't.
I don't know.
You mix in front of your speakers.
I wouldn't mix on headphones. It's very hard.
It's almost impossible to get a good low end off headphones.
Well, it's hard to get an accurate mix on headphones.
Even the high quality ones.
Yeah, it's just a really unnatural mixing environment. The music may sound great, but it's not going to be accurate. Waves, I have not checked this out, but they make a plugin now to, maybe I'll look at how it works, since a lot of you are having to mix on headphones. I mean, you can't mix on your computer monitor, you know?
Well, I mean, that's worse, right?
Yeah, it's way worse. But, you know, you have to have a good mixing environment to mix accurately. And it doesn't have to cost a lot. Someone gave me these little Fostex speakers that are really pretty full sound. They're probably $150 a pair, maybe. It's not a fortune. So they don't have to be big, they don't have to be loud. But anyway,
So you want to mix with like speakers like these or not headphones?
you need speakers that are accurate, flat,
Okay.
pretty much, yeah. And you need them in a room that's flat. You know, we've talked about this in acoustics. We can look at the Waves headphone plugin simulates a well-balanced mixing environment. I don't know how, I would think that you have to calibrate it to your headphones. You know, like we have, hang on. Like at the college, we got the Sony 7506s, and these are hugely popular among like video production people and location sound. I use these a lot, but they really have kind of a hyped high end. They exaggerate brightness.
So mixing with that.
So if
mix
I
on that.
mixed on these, and I got my high end, so it sounded really good when I went and played it somewhere else, it's going to sound really dull. But anyway, let's go back to your thing, Ka.
Have you ever seen one pair of headphones that people who mix music said they like, and the whole setup to make them run was $50,000?
Oh gosh.
You saw that?
Yeah, it was. I didn't see it in person. I watched a video on it,
Mm-hmm.
but it was ridiculous.
I think there's better ones, you know, like there's headphones that, you know, probably are pretty flat. I forget, I had a pair of AKGs that were, you know, really popular as a headphone monitoring. But we can look into that.
Yeah, because I have.
But I'll look up the plugin. Maybe we'll take another break today and I'll queue it up and we can look at the plugin. It might be worthwhile.
Okay.
But let's look at your mix and why.
I feel the rest of the mix is gonna be.
Say that again?
I feel the rest of the mix isn't gonna be good because I boosted the low ends on everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We can look at it though.
It's bad.
Yeah, but if you're gonna, like on when I boosted the lows on the kick drum, it was more focused. It was on a specific frequency range of the beater. Yeah. But it's pretty loud, and the kick is pretty loud in the mix. I mean, you're adding 3 dB to it on the fader, which is one of the reasons the level is so high. I'm just going to push this around a little bit. Just. Let's look at. So I like using the high shelf like this on, overheads, when you want to bring out brightness. Beginning at, you're setting at 1300 is pretty low, generally.
Okay.
Um,
What do you think?
yeah. Interesting what you get, on the, every time you hear the hi-hat, you see this bump at 10K in the overheads, right? So if you boost, he just changed his pattern. Yeah. You might want to, use your high pass on the overheads too, because you got tons of kick drum available to you, right? So, you might want to do something like that. It may sound a little thin on its own. What else? The overhead right. Yeah, similar. What you got with your snare. Where is the snare? Oops. Go back here. Why is your thing going off the scale like this? Like the waveform is so high. I don't know.
It's not at 30. It's not at 30. It's not at the default. I dragged it down. It's usually at the number 30. I just wanted to,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even know how to do that.
Just left hold down.
Oh.
Yeah, it's usually at 30.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I drag it down so I can see what's going on down there, like the energy, the waveform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Um, well, the snare sounds pretty good, you know, like that. Hi-hat. Yeah. So yeah, I can see you're doing the high, you know, boosting the highs. You know, don't be afraid to use your high pass, you know, and cut out stuff, you know, on stuff that it doesn't, you know, it really helps the low end when you just leave it to the things that really need it, like kick drum and bass, sometimes keyboards.
So it doesn't need the low stuff, the low frequency.
The hi-hat like doesn't need it. And, you know, you can hear it, there's so much in the overheads when he does that.
I thought it would give it a fuller sound with the other instruments.
Yeah. But, you know, the level of these overheads is it's tracked pretty low
Oh, okay.
too. So what did you say? You said you use the gain?
On the kick, usually.
Oh, on the kick. Yeah, plenty of kick drum. But when I let me undo this. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds different.
Yeah, your mix is pretty hot, like you're hitting red, you know, up there. I think your EQs make sense, you know, in what you're doing. I think you just need a little better environment. Like I think the guitar. Yeah. So you have this big low shelf boost on the electric guitar. I mean, there's nothing going on at 50 in the guitar. It just brings, it's just like a thump, you know what I mean, more. Yeah. But I wouldn't go to the low shelf on this guitar part. Happened. Yeah, there's really a lot of lows in this part, I think. There's kind of an interesting hole in the frequency graph too here. Right there at like 1200. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on there. But in what else? So again, you have this high shelf, you know, which has got all this, you're boosting it at 10 and 20. It's a guitar amp. There's nothing above 5K in it. So, you know, if you're looking for, you know, to brighten it up, which I think it needs, you know, I think if you look more at like 23,000, it would be the highs in an electric guitar.
Okay.
Let me,
There's something about that band I like.
which band?
The two bands that I always use.
Which ones are that?
The purple one and the orange.
Oh, well, the purple one is the high shelf.
Here, the high shelf.
I love high shelves too, but I'm just saying it doesn't work on guitar. Not really. I mean, there's a better way to do it. Like if you want to hear the highs, well, let me say, if you want to hear the highs, sometimes it's better to cut than to boost. Like let's do a little cutting here. And a pretty broad band. Come on and play. Just come on and play. It's already changed there. Here, let me go back. Here's without that. Yeah, see, I think the lows in the guitar are unnecessary. It may sound a little.
It sounds fuller though.
It does sound fuller, but
To me, with this guitar track, it feels like the lows are what carries it, gives it that groove.
on which one?
This track
On this track.
just gives it a groove. But that might just be me because I'm kind of a fan of lows in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just was opposed to the big boost in the low shelf. It really brings about, it's kind of muddies it up.
Right.
But let's say let's bring in another band. Let's just try to dip this here. And, oh, it gets quiet there, that's why we don't hear it. Yeah, anyways. Personally, I would cut the low end a little bit. It's just, or maybe, the song starts with the guitar on its own. So, have it maybe some lows in there when it's alone, but once you get into the body of the song and there's a bass, guitar, I think the lows in the guitar are unnecessary and get buried and just add to a lot of clutter in the low end.
So then how do you EQ a specific section of a song?
That's a great question. So there's a couple ways. One, you can automate it, right? Like you can automate anything in GarageBand. But the better way to do it, and the way I do this kind of thing now, is I would just create a new track with its own setting. The thing, once you start writing automation on your track, it's going to fight you, and you won't even be allowed to make an adjustment by pulling this anymore.
Is there another program that does that, like you said, or?
No, you can do it in, here's what I do here.
Well, not
This-
automation, just EQ specific section of this.
Yeah, here's how I would do it. Let's say you want to, is everyone still there? We're kind of talking here. So the question is, well, let's say we want the guitar when it's alone to sound really full and we like the low end there. So, I'm going to highlight the guitar. I'm going to do track. Isn't there a way to copy this whole thing?
Yeah.
Just highlight the track and copy, Command C.
I thought there was a way in most software, gosh, I've done this before. I need my glasses. Where I've copied the whole thing with the settings, but you could save it as a preset if you really.
I think that's in track.
You duplicate it
Yeah. Where was it?
right there. New track, duplicate settings.
Thank you. Perfect. So. Right there is when we go into the regular song, right? So let's highlight the guitar, split regions of playhead, go back to the beginning. I'm going to copy, this will be our guitar intro, Command X, Command V. This is now guitar intro. And we can, for the guitar intro, we have, we'll go back to your EQ without the cut, okay? Oops. You can make this whatever you want. Now when you get to the regular guitar part, you know, we can do this and we can have like a high pass and it'll switch, you know, sounds here. And we'll solo these. We need to tweak this a little bit though. See, I like hearing the highs on it. But anyway, the point is you can do whatever you want. So this is my recommended way to, when you need to make separate settings on the same track for different sections of a song. It's no load on your computer to make another track. Playing the audio is pretty easy. It's when you start sticking reverb plugins and stuff on every track, that's when. But anyway, and this way it's super, like if you want to come back and make an adjustment to the guitar intro EQ, it'll allow you to do it. But if you do something like, you know, on mix, show automation, if you wanted to go in, like here we're viewing volume, but you know, you could do, you can automate your channel EQ in like your low shelf, right? You can do anything, but really going into this whole world of automating EQs, it's really, it gets crazy, you know, and like I said, once you do it, you have to, in order to make a change, you have to write more automation. But this is the cool way to do it.
You do this a lot for your projects, people you work with?
Do I do this kind of thing? Yeah. But the thing I'm doing more, you know, to get around automation, the new, you know, the newer versions of software have a thing called clip level. And rather than, here, like going in here and, you know, writing automation on the volume, you know, on the track, right? Let's say I wanted it to come down, you know, in this section there. I'm doing it on the intro track, there's nothing there, right? But let's say I want this, you know, actually I do this a lot. I just mixed a project where the singer was just all over the place. You know, certain phrases would just get buried. He was playing guitar at the same time and he just was an amateur. So, you know, we would isolate, let me undo this thing I just did. Let me hide the automation. You know, we would isolate a section that needed to come up. It could be just a syllable of a word. And, when you click on it, you get a little fader that appears. Let me talk. You get a little fader that appears in the bottom corner of the clip. You know, it'll say, you know, plus 3 dB, you pull it down, it's -5. And it adjusts the level of that clip, whether it's a syllable or half a verse. And it's not automation, you can go in and change it. It's such a huge time saver. Yeah. Anyways. What else? Yeah, your use of the low shelf.
You know, well, yeah, it's because of my headphones.
Yeah.
That's how all my EQs are for each track.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, though.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to try it, you know, if you work on it in class, if you want to try the 7506s, it would be interesting. But then these are kind of bright too. Maybe we'll bring up, you know, we have the Sennheisers, you know, too. Oh, sorry, I forgot to share my screen, everyone. We have the Sennheisers too, and those aren't bright at all. You know, I got those because they're better at leakage because they're more of a closed ear design, whereas these Sonys kind of let a lot of sound out. What time is it? 11:45. Is there anything you specifically want to look at in this?
No,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, you answered all my questions.
Okay. Let me just look. Yeah. I think that your EQ adjustments are overly broad. Like on this one here, oh, I'm sorry, everyone, you're not seeing what I'm doing. Hang on. Are you all seeing this EQ out there?
Yeah.
So rather than just having such a broad boost over the whole low end and the whole high end, except for that, you know, I would consider doing this, you know, doing a cut and you know, and focus that. I mean, I think you essentially would achieve the same thing with all that, but without boosting all of this stuff that's way out of the range of what's even happening in the track. But good. Thank you for sharing. I'm not going to save that. Okay. I have another, what makes this song great, if you'd like to watch it.
Can I get my?
Yeah, go ahead, just pull it. Yeah, okay. On Pantera. Any interest? Yes? It's really good. All right, Zoe. So this is, I really like Pantera, I have to admit. But it's hard for me to listen to them for more than 15 minutes. It's just pretty intense. Let me find my link to it. Yeah, Beato Pantera.
Is it done? Real pretty out today, isn't it? Lenny, what did you eat for breakfast? What? Search the cupboard. Exactly, because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol. Hey, you guys want to go kayaking? You're lucky if...
Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato on today's Everything.
Give me a second here. Let's share this properly.
Music, it's What Makes the Sun Great, episode 70. The band is Pantera and the song is Walk. Coming up next. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked when I'm going to feature Pantera in one of these What Makes the Sun Great videos. Well, today's the day. In honor of doing the video, I thought, oh, I need to go find my Vinnie Paul snare. Well, all I could find was my Vinnie Paul snare box, but the snare's around here somewhere. Walk was the fourth single off the 1992 release, Vulgar Display of Power. The song was written by the entire band. It was produced by one of my favorite rock producers, Terry Date. The song begins with a classic riff. Okay, so this is a 12/8 riff. I want to talk about that first. What does that mean? 12/8 is basically 4/4, but it's triplet bass. So if you think of it like this, I conduct 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 4 groups of 3. It's like a shuffle. The riff is in a D tuning. Everything's tuned down a whole step, and then a little bit more, just to make it heavier, and so it's harder to tune your guitar with when you're trying to play along, right? So you got your... Let's talk about the opening riff. There's like a little quarter bend with a vibrato on it. It's really actually hard to do. But what does it feature? It features that flat 2, the sound of metal. So the second half of the riff goes to the 3rd fret power chord in the A string, then 1st fret power chord, then goes to this 4th interval there between the 1st fret of the A string and D string, which is really like a power chord that you would play with a 5th in the bass. You could play it up here. But you could actually play it up there. And it would sound pretty much the same. When it gets to the climbing riff, that riff features the notes 1, flat 2, flat 3, and then flat 6, flat 5, and then major 7. So that would really be 1, flat 2, flat 3, you can say 4, flat 5.
He gets a little carried away on the guitars. I want to get to the mixing more. Forgive me. We're on the bass. Here.
Just kind of this hybrid Locrian major 7 scale. Okay, so let's talk about what is great about Rex Brown's bass part. Well, he does different things each time when you solo the track. Check it out. Now that's definitely first fret there with almost no bend, right? And then the second time, he's playing, definitely he's playing 3, 2, 1, or second fret, first fret, open. Listen. That sounds like an octave there. Okay, so in this part, you're going. Anytime you have power chords in the bass, it makes it sound a lot more intense. So we got. The bass and guitars play in unison on the riff. Next, let's check out what Vinnie Paul is playing on the drums. Start from the top. Great fill here.
Listen to the reverb on that snare, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
You like it?
Hmm?
You like it? Or is it too much?
I'm just surprised to hear it, it just takes up so much sonic space. It's not just a hit. I mean, I don't know whether he adds it on his playback.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know this song. I have it on a CD, and I never noticed the drums as having a lot of reverb, but maybe I don't know. When they gave him these tracks, I don't know. I'm going to go into my stop share. Like, I think sometimes he gets what's called stems, which is like in larger mixing sessions, you do submixes, like in the Toto one where he says, oh yeah, and we have this big vocal thing on the chorus. They didn't record them all in one room on one track. Okay. They were probably done individually, maybe 2, but then they were, using the sends on the mixing board. They're sent to an auxiliary bus where you might have a stereo pair. If we have time, you can see in Chris Lord Alge's session how he organizes these really large mixes into stems. And, and when I say a stem, it's what you're getting in the group. I'm not sure he's going to play an individual. He says, listen to the sound of the kick drum. I don't hear him doing that too much, but we'll see. I'll keep going here. And I'm saying it's unusual for people to give stems. I don't know. I don't know if they would give him the drum stem with all the reverb on it. I don't know. Anyway, keep going here. I lost him. Shoot.
Is Google Alan
Which one?
Far right.
point highlighted?
Oh, thank you.
And right here. And then, So, do da da ooh, do da da oh. All those fills are based on triplets and the whole group. Do da 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 decka da decka da decka da decka da. That's a triplet feel. Next, we're into the verse where Phil enters. Check it out. Let's check out the vocals by themselves. Here, check it out.
Can't you see I'm easily bothered by persistence? One step from lashing out at you. You want to get under my skin and call yourself a friend. I've got more friends like you. What do I do?
One thing that's really cool about the verse part are the guitar stabs halfway through. Check it out.
One step from lashing out at you. You want
So right there, let me solo the guitar. So we've got this power chord up here that's based on the major seventh, if you think of it. Well, it's a major seventh, but it's got the fifth in the bass. Look it goes. So the lead into the chorus here. We have a caveman triplet fill that Vinny plays. Check it out. Then he goes to the Battle of the Ride. The chord progression of the chorus goes like this. We go to the flat 7, 3.
I don't want to do all this guitar stuff.
Flat 7, and they're all power chords in the chorus. Let's check it out.
I want to skip all the guitar stuff.
Root, and the bass is playing power chords. That's how you get really huge guitar sounds, by having that power chord be the foundation of the bass part. I'm going to solo the vocals in Pro Tools so you can hear what Phil is singing in the chorus.
You can't be something you're.
Let's look at his session a second, and maybe we can see what he's playing. This top one says kick mono. The snare is a stereo track, right? That green one. This is cymbals, that'd be overhead. We got bass, mono. Nothing happening in this one says backing. This is the guitar in stereo. Oh, by the way, this is the clip volume fader I was talking about. Can you see it?
Where your cursor is?
Yeah, it's set at 0 now. But if you click on this and pull your mouse down, the fader will go down and it'll say like -3, -4. So this is what clip volume looks like.
And it only does that section.
And it only does that byte.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, like this is some sort of punch or edit, or I'm not sure what it is. And then this is the vocals in stereo. So I don't know how this was recorded. Not a lot of tracks though, so I think they've summed it up. Here, we'll keep going.
Not be yourself, by yourself, stay away from me. A lesson learned in life.
Check this out here.
A lesson learned in life, known from the dawn of time. Read,
What note?
split,
What note
walk.
is that?
What did you say? Read, split, walk. Are you talking?
Yeah, so, there's a lot of vocals there, right? I mean, in addition to that obvious low one.
That
You
was
know,
awesome.
there's several tracks. So this is like a vocal stem he's playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Talking to me! Are you talking to me? So we begin verse 2 like this. And then it kicks in the guitar. And then back to the chorus. Again with the caveman fill. Then we come to the end of the and then, so at the end of the chorus here, I call this the tag or the shout chorus, right? Where everybody shouts along with the band or with Phil. And then we're into the solo. Dimebag was a killer guitarist, and
So yeah, this guy Dimebag Darrell, he really is a phenomenal guitar player, and unfortunately he was shot by a crazed fan on stage. It's really tragic, but anyway, really amazing player.
Yeah, those concerts can get crazy.
Yeah, it's really.
soloist. I remember when he was killed, I was actually working with a guitar player that was really good friends with him, and it was
This is a good story,
it
actually.
was so sad. And I don't know if you know the story about Van Halen and Dimebag. It says months before his death, Dimebag asked one of his idols, Eddie Van Halen, for a black and yellow striped Charvel Bumblebee, like the one pictured in the back cover of the inside sleeve of Van Halen 2. Eddie agreed to make Dimebag a copy of the guitar, but never got around to it. When Eddie learned of the tragic death, he called Dime's widow, Rita, and asked her if there's anything he could do. She said, yes, as a matter of fact, could you stripe him a yellow and black guitar? Van Halen said, are you sure you don't want the red, black, and white one? Rita declined, saying, no, Dime told me the yellow and black is the toughest looking. He always thought that. When Van Halen arrived for the viewing, he had the guitar, but it wasn't what Rita expected. He brought his original 1979 Bumblebee Charvel Hybrid Van Halen 2 to be placed inside Dimebag's casket and buried along with him. From Eddie, Dime was an original, and only an original deserves the original. Let's check out Dimebag's solo, Soul.
Uh-oh, commercial.
Load. Now, I'm not even going to try and play along with the beginning part of the solo because it's so perfectly played. I don't want to even attempt to do it. It's just great to listen to on its own. But this lick, I really dig. And then the minute. So this first lick here. There we go. Yeah. You know, if the strings were tuned down slightly below D, I wouldn't be able to get that bend. So after the solo, we go back to the chorus. And then we have the one change here. Love it. And the song fades from there. That's all for now. Please subscribe.
What'd you think of that?
It's,
That's good.
Good content.
Luke, you just missed Pantera.
Oh yeah, I apologize. I just woke up with a really bad headache and unfortunately fell back asleep, trying to wait for it to go away.
Okay, well, better late than never.
Yeah.
So,
I actually have my funky music one finished up. I can't remember if I sent it to you though, because I did finish it like a week ago.
okay, we can look at that. In a second.
Okay.
We just got done watching a Rick Beato version of What Makes This Song Great. I think it's just a fabulous series, and I love it. When he has producers, he knows that, give him access to these, the Pro Tools sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can listen to the song, but I appreciate him soloing them, and you can really appreciate what really great players are doing. And yeah, it's what makes the song great. It's just, a lot of times it's just sounds and little things and just fabulous musicianship. People that have just put in a lot of hours getting really, really skilled at playing, not just things that are super fast and difficult, but just simple things, but with such a great groove and, pocket in the pocket and locked together rhythmically, and people who listen to each other. And it's really, it's a part of what great songs are. There's a lot of good sessions like this with the Beatles, and where they've have tracks like this. It actually would be a lot of fun to do a whole course on this, really. But I hope to do it more. But this is just 4 people, but again, a lot of arrangement and production. Anyways, what is it? It's 10 after 12. What would you like to do? Would anyone like to present? Do you want me to do some more mixing on All Right Now? Luke, did you want to present anything or play your stuff or?
I'm trying to find the files right now, but I actually was interested in seeing more of the mixing on All Right Now, because I was working on a Real World right now, but I think for all of mine, I'm still kind of, especially like the mastering segment of the whole process, I'm still trying to get the hang of.
Okay. Well, one thing we talked about is that in a Real World and One More Kiss are sort of should be done. You can take those on afterwards for extra credit, but All Right Now is an important project. Definitely
Okay.
the most difficult. And we did a demonstration of how to do the bass edits, which is really tricky. But I unfortunately didn't have the Zoom recording at the time. But maybe I'll do it again. I can do it real fast just using my undo command now too. And just go back and go forward. Anyways, what would you like to do? Do you want me to keep doing all right now?
I'd,
That's
I'd be interested in that.
Zoe, Luke's.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more first. All right now.
Say that again. You're kind of breaking up.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more.
Okay. All right. Putting me to work here. Let me get my thing going here. You gonna take off?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me share my screen and you'll see. I'm gonna do open recent. Are you seeing my screen now? I think not. I closed the window and opened it. Okay, where was I? Let me try and remember where I am. Get out of there. So, yeah, these drums are sounding pretty good. Snare might be a little loud. I'll back them off, the snare and the overhead. Okay, and we had done some work on the bass, right? Oh, I'm sorry, that's Barney. Where's the bass? Here. Oh, he's not playing yet. Here we are. Okay, so, again, I use the bass amp plug-in. Get back to the track. I didn't use the EQ because I really liked what was going on with the bass amp. Used my compression before the amp. Oop, let me go back to where he's playing. I'm going to highlight this because this is where the bass player doesn't play through the whole song, but we can loop this. You can see my settings. You can see my settings on the multi-band there. So the very percussive part, the way he's playing it. So I'm hitting this a little harder than I normally would, but I still feel like there's dynamics. And then again, the amp. I used the graphic to bring down some of the harshness in the bass. I didn't use the compressor because I already had that, and I'm pretty much, yeah, anyway, you can refer to these tone controls if you want. And then, it has this cool speaker. Gosh, it's cutting it off. Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Okay? Moving on. Let's look at the singing. So this is Jimmy Mack. Our lead vocal, of course, is really important. Not the greatest singer. So let's, oops, I don't want all that.
Yeah. Now listen up. I took her home to my place.
Let me shut off my multiband for now.
One remove on her face. I said, hey girl, what's your game, baby? Maybe we can do things the same.
So,
sorry, Joel. The computer audio isn't being shared. We're hearing it through the speakers.
the computer audio is not being shared?
Yeah, it's just coming through the speakers.
Sorry about that. Hang on. Thank you.
Don't go fast.
How's that? Better?
I never go fast. How you gonna make love fast?
I think
She said,
we can hear both the mic and the computer audio. I think so.
Really?
Definitely better. Yeah, but yeah, no, it works out. At least we can still get the.
Okay.
watching every move on her face. I said, hey girl, what's your game, baby?
So he really just got a lot of energy in this mid-range. You know, we could use the high pass here. Try.
Maybe we could do things the same.
So we want to keep the fundamental, which is around 200. But I would clear out some of this low stuff.
Now she said, slow, don't go fast.
I'm going to try and just unmuddy this, maybe just a little dip.
I never go fast. How you gonna make love last? She said, Mom, Lord above. Now she trying to trick me in love. Hey!
Wow. I think I'm sort of preparing it for the multi-band when we might be able to use that here. Let me highlight some of this verse.
Listen up. I took her home to my place.
The vocal just sounds kind of really thick, and I would just want a little more presence on it. See what we got.
Listen up.
So that fundamental was at like 200, so I want to make sure I get that.
Listen up. I took her home to my place.
Oh, I'm on the wrong one.
Watching every move on her face. I said, hey girl, what's your game, baby? Maybe we can do things the same.
You know what? I think I EQ'd the wrong one. Let me check. No, that was right. I clicked on this track by mistake. Easy to do in this.
Listen up. I took her home to my place. Watching every move on her face. I said, hey girl, what's your game, baby? Maybe we can do things the same. Now she said, slow, don't go fast. I never go fast. How you gonna make love last? She said, Lord, Lord above.
That's pretty good. Give him a little reverb.
Listen up. I took her home to my place, watching every move on her face.
You know, when I listen to this, let's do a little surgical stuff that we've started. This line is buried here. Right?
Listen up. I took her home to my place, watching.
He was off the mic. Okay? So to fix this, we put our fader there. Split region at playhead. Put it right before it. Command T. Did I do that? Oh, I got to highlight it. And, oops. My window's off the screen here. I'm going to take this. Oops. What's annoying about GarageBand here is that it doesn't split the automation. You know, I have to, you know, write separate points like this. Oops. But if we want to bring the whole thing up, you know, we have to do this. All right.
Listen up. I took her home to my place, watching every.
That's better, right? Sounds more consistent? I think so. But if you want to, you know, feel like you want to go to that level in your mix, you can.
Listen up. Listen up. I took her home to my place, watching every move on her face.
There we go. So that'll do for now. Let's go to, let me find a chorus.
Everybody say, all right now.
Let's listen to what we have for backup singers. I don't believe the drummer is singing. That's Chris there.
All right now, baby, it's all right now.
This is tough. Here. Let me find this chorus. I want to isolate it so I don't have to keep rewinding. I think this is it.
Baby, she's in need of a.
No.
Everybody say, all right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right.
So let's work on Joette's vocal. Okay? To me, it sounds kind of really flat, and not in pitch, but in tone.
All right now, baby, it's all right now.
She is out of tune, too. That doesn't help. But let's try to clean it up a little bit, get rid of some of the lows.
All right now, baby, it's all right now.
let's give her a little help here.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right now.
A little more. You know, you could try a low pass here because I hear all the drums crashing on it. I don't know if this will help.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right.
So here's my EQ for Joette. I like this. We're again, using the high pass and even the low pass. But I gave her a little help, in this upper, a little brightness on her voice. Let's look at our multi-band.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right now.
Let me click.
Baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby,
That's pretty good.
it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right now.
That'll do. Let's get Barney in there. He's singing backup.
All right now, baby, it's all right. All right now.
So, when I hear in these tracks, these are people singing into SM58 microphones really close. So we really have a lot of proximity effect. There's a lot of lows in it. Let's try and work on that.
All right now, baby, it's all right.
So again, we'll use your high pass.
All right now, baby, it's all right.
So I hear the lows starting to go away, and I don't want to do that too much.
All right now, baby, it's all right.
Little help here.
All right now. Oh.
Man, he kind of runs out of gas there, doesn't he? Yeah.
All right now, baby, it's all right. All right now. Oh.
Wow, yeah. If I was in a place where I had better isolation, I would try to find a better version at a different part of the song. He kind of really drops out. But anyway, let's just work with what we have here.
All right now, baby, it's all right. All right now. Oh. All right now, baby, it's all right.
So I'm going to pan the backing vocals a little left and right. I'm going to put them next to each other so I can really see them together too.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right.
Listen.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right.
Well, I'm getting there. How's everyone doing out there? Are you with me?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm sort of making a few little tweaks to the mix here. Listen.
All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right.
Yeah, that'll do. Um,
Oh, I actually had kind of a general question. This goes for all of our projects, really. But when we're trying to, or when we're setting up all of our tracks and whatnot, we're trying to keep it from going into the yellow up in the top right, correct? So that it doesn't peak too much.
No,
Like the
you-
overall audio.
You want it to go yellow. You don't want it to go red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you know, I was going to play this video by Chris Lord Alge, and he really talks about how a lot of these plugins, the gain structure in your project is really important. And he talks about how the plugins really are designed to work at a certain level, like the original pieces of equipment. They really work best, some of them, especially the more old school ones, when they're pushed a little bit, but not distorted. But anyway, really watch your gain level in all your settings. And so ideally, your master output should be at 0. The only time I break that rule is when, if I've got a really complicated mix where I've done automation and things like that, and what was I saying? Yeah, a complicated mix with automation, and maybe my level is a little too hot or a little too low, I might nudge it a dB or 2, but not a lot. You know, rather than go back and redo automation. Anyway. But I've talked about, you know, the output level controls and what red means. And, you know, if you read your equipment, a lot of times they'll give you the specification for it, like the overload light will come on, you know, a little before it actually is clipping and distorting, okay? But generally, you might want to only see red for this, you know, just an instant on your peaks. But hitting red in digital recording is not a good thing overall, okay? I lost my GarageBand. Where are you? There you are. So I've got a good start on the backing vocals. Did I give Barney some? I wanted to give Barney a little reverb. You know, one thing you might want to do to really start cleaning this up is muting these backing vocals when they're not doing anything. You know, we really have a lot of leakage here. let's just try that. I mean, you can see where Joette starts singing there, right?
Everybody say.
So there's also, the keys are direct, so there's nothing going on there. We have Barney. I'm just going to try this. We're going to silence some of this stuff. Chris is off. Jim's vocal. Say we get rid of these guys when they're not singing. All right?
This is my good friend right here.
So they're done there, right? But they're going to sing again. But I may try that. I haven't done that in a while. Oh, I didn't mean to do Joel's electric guitar. Shoot. Sorry, I did the wrong one. I wanted to do this one. But we'll come to... You know what? Chris doesn't sing at all. I'm gonna do a bold move. I have a saved version of this in case I make a mistake, but I'm gonna delete this whole track. I'm tired of looking at it. There's also no Jim electric guitar. He doesn't play at all. So I'm gonna delete this track. Oop, I'm going to delete the track. Delete. I didn't sing either. I'm going to clean up your mix if you can. Let's see what we have.
There she stand in the street.
Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. I got rid of my guitar. Let me get that thing back.
Oh, come on! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Man, those are loud, aren't they? Yes. Got to do something about that. I like the level of the lead vocal. Let's just leave it for now. I don't want to write automation too early, actually.
There she stand in the street, smiling from her head to her feet. I said, hey, what is this now, baby, baby? Maybe she's in need of a kid. I said, well, hey, what's your name, baby? Susan, are you?
So this is okay for now. Let's go up to my chorus.
He said,
All right now, baby, all right now.
all right now, baby, all right.
Sorry, what did I do?
He said,
All right now, baby, all right now.
all right now, baby, all right. This is my good friend right here. Yeah. Now listen up. I took her home to my place, watching every move on her face. I said, hey girl, what's your game, baby? Maybe we can do things the same. Now she said, slow, don't go fast. I never go fast. How you gonna make love last? She said, Lord, Lord above.
I'm going to give Jim a little more reverb now.
Now she trying to bring me in love. Hey!
So we're in on another chorus here.
Lord above. Now she trying to bring me in love. Hey!
So they're about to sing. So I'm going to, keep trying to clean some of this up. We can get rid of this stuff, right? They sing. So this is rough, Jim stopped singing here. I don't expect you to fix this stuff. It's hard. So you got to understand in this show, this is a show. It's not like a music performance. And at this point, we have a bunch of people on the stage, and they're dancing around, and he's distracted. But anyway, that's how it is. Let me keep going here. Stop that. So the guitar might need to come up here a little bit. Maybe it could work overall. Not sure. And we can clean this up too. I'm going to snip some vocals here. Barney and Joette, right? I'm going to find the end of this chorus. They're done. They used to have studio assistants whose job was to clean up the session, even on analog tape, and they would actually carefully erase stuff that didn't need to be there. They're going to sing again.
Hey, everybody sing, all right now, baby, it's all right now, hey, all right, baby.
So I'm soloing Barney. I really don't hear him much. He's really weak. It's tough. A lot of drum leakage on his mic too. I'm not sure we can do much about it.
All right, All right, I'm gonna be done in 1 minute. Don't worry, 1 minute. I got my $2,000. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do not give the people on the stage enough credit.
So here we have a long introduction. But anyway, that's a start on the mix. I mean, you're not going to make this sound like a pro record. But you know, it's a getting the. I think we have the drums good and the bass good, guitars good, the vocals are what they are. You should have fun. You know, fixing the bass part is a great exercise for you. So I'm not sure. The college lists Thursday as the last day of instruction. I'd like to do a class next Friday if you want to. I'm wondering if any of you have like a lot of loose ends, you know, in your work.
Yeah, I would definitely be down for another class.
Okay, well we'll just do it. And then the following Friday is our final exam session, and I'm going to have we can just really, you know, make sure you get, it's the final session to submit stuff, and I'll help you with any problems. For our final, I'm going to have a short, simple project for you to mix in class. Okay. Again, help me organize the grading of your assignments for those that submitted it through the Dropbox. So everything that's been physically handed in now is graded. I have a lot of it in a folder. Luke, McKinnon, is your intention to not attend the class anymore here, or?
No, this was I was planning on coming today actually. I woke up on time, but my head was just kind of hurting. So.
Okay. But anyway, if you want, let me know if you want your assignments back. I guess I have to scan them or something. Marcus, I have yours. So, yeah, I'll have some. I'll look for. I have some good videos, you know, still that I want to share with you that'll insight into some classics.
Okay.
I think they're great. Okay. So send me. What was I saying? Send me. Look at your grade book and send me a list of what you've handed in your Dropbox or otherwise that you haven't been graded, because everything I have physically have has been graded now and entered. Okay, and I just want to prevent a flood on the last, you know, session, because my final grades are probably due the Tuesday after that, after our final. So I don't have much time. And it really takes a lot for me to grade, you know, the GarageBand assignments. Okay? Very good, Zoe. That's all I have for today. I'm tired of talking. I'm talking too much. Okay, I'll upload this Zoom. If any of you, like I said, I neglected to have the record thing going for the bass edit, but if anyone wants me to redo it, I will, and I'll put it up separately so it's easy to access. It's very tricky. But you can do it, and you'll get a lot out of knowing how to do it. Okay? Oh, can't breathe here. Very good. I'm going to sign off then for today, unless there's anything else.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, everyone take care. I'll see you next Friday. Feel free to Zoom me or email me if you want any help with anything.
All right.
Okay?
Gotcha.
Very good. Bye, everyone.